hand, if you were aware that 70% of employees leave an organization because of their managers. That's astounding, isn't it? Did you also know that according to Gallup, 1 in 7 people are not even talented, have the skill to be a manager, but they are. That's a little frightening, isn't it? You see, we as leaders have the ultimate responsibility to influence our teams and to influence our colleagues. We have the ability to make change in an organization just through communication. That's just through communication. And it's not about what we say, it's how we say it. It's our body language, and it's our tone of voice. Because you all agreed, right? If you're delivering a message to your team or your colleagues and it's messy, what do you think happens? It's a messy message, and therefore it is not clear, and it leads to so many misunderstandings. See, I'm an individual who grew up on a farm. I'm a country girl, and my father was an entrepreneur. And so I wanted to be like my dad. I always said I wanted to be a leader. But no, I was not talking to the cows on the farm. I was talking to my siblings from a family of 8. So I really knew what leadership was from a farm perspective. But I really didn't know how to apply that in the corporate world. Because we all know that leadership is hard, is it not? Managing people is so hard. And nobody tells you that. They're just like, go out there and do it. Research also shows that the average manager is promoted into leadership because, number 1, they did a really good job of the jobs they were doing, non-manager. And the second reason is that they've been there forever. They've got tenure. And so someone said, be a great manager. And therefore, they became managers, leading people, but they didn't have the skill set. So fortunately, they were set up for failure, not for success. So what I'm here today to talk to you about is the importance of communication. Because what we say and how we say it makes or breaks your team or the organization, right? Would you all not agree with that? Absolutely. And so for me, when I would come home from work, my husband would always say, did you have fun at work today? And I'm like, no, I was at a meeting. I was doing this, I was doing that. And he's like, well, why didn't you have fun? I just didn't. I was busy. Next day, same thing. How was your day? It was good. Did you have fun today? I'm like, no, why do you keep asking me if I had fun at work? He said, because if you're not having fun at work, what are you doing? And I actually stopped and I thought, he may have something there. Why am I going to work if I don't have fun doing it? So I decided to create an acronym that has been extremely helpful for me, and I hope it's helpful for you that are listening to me. It's called the Fun Factor of Leadership. The Fun Factor of Leadership. Very simple. So I'll explain to you briefly what that kind of means, and if you want to learn more, you connect with me. My name is Dr. Jordon for all of you in the audience. So the F stands for fair, but I also added transparency to that. Because if you're a manager, you need to be fair to all your employees. Most importantly, you must communicate with transparency. Because if you don't, what do you think will happen? And I mentioned it earlier, you should all know. You end up with a messy message, right? So, if you create fairness and transparency in all of your communications, your messages will be clear. No issues whatsoever. Now you may be wondering, what does the U stand for? Well, the U stands for understanding. When you're talking to your employees, when you're talking to your boss or your colleagues, you want to make sure that your communication is clear, but you want to make sure that they know that you understand what you are trying to communicate, or you understand what they're trying to communicate. It goes both ways. So having a clear understanding allows your teams and your colleagues to gain trust in you. Because if you have the time to understand what they have to say, you're listening, and I mean active listening, not just doing something else, yeah, I saw that, actively listening to them, what do you think will happen? People that communicate with you will all of a sudden gain that trust, but they will also know that they could tell you different things, and you're going to provide that feedback and value the feedback they give to you. What a concept, right? And then the N stands for, this is my favorite one. What do you remember when you were in first grade or kindergarten and you're excited to go to school and you were a little nervous at the same time? My mom would always tell me, maybe your parents did too, because I would say, I'm going to meet new friends, I'm not sure what to do. And she would say, when you get to school, just be nice. Something simple, just be nice. If we as leaders are nicer to our employees, we're nicer to our colleagues, the people that are around us, the world would be a better place. HR wouldn't be so busy because we need to be more nicer to our employees and to our colleagues. Most importantly, we need to be nice to ourselves. Sometimes we're not so nice to ourselves, but if we're nice to other people, it can really go a long way. So that's the fun factor of leadership that I created, because I want to make sure the next time someone doesn't ask me, how's your day at work? And I said, it was great, I had fun. And I can actually say that now. I can say that I had fun at work. Because number one, I'm fair to my employees. I'm transparent in my communication. I listen for understanding. I listen for their feedback to let them know that I am paying attention. And I'm super nice. Now, when I say nice, I want to make sure you understand what part, because a lot of times we get ourselves in trouble with the nice aspect of it. We want to be friends with our employees, and that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying, though, is you need to be friendly. Because if you become friends and not friendly, then that creates misunderstandings as well. And we want to make sure that we clear that up. So what I say to you today is, when you are ready to take your organization and your teams into the fun factor, connect with me. My name is Dr. Linda Jordon. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.